Hi everyone and welcome back to Who Would Win. And this Who Would Win is beginning of April, which means it's Bleach, and we're on Squad 8. Now obviously Squad 8's captain has changed in recent times, but we're going with the original Squad 8 captain from the series. That'd be Shunsui Kyoraku, and his opponent Kakashi Hatake. Now I did have a suggestion for Trafalgar Law from One Piece, and it was a good idea, and it's not a bad suggestion. I'll probably use it in a different video. But I'd already written down the entire fight for Kakashi, and I didn't really want to go through writing down Trafalgar Law again, so we're using Kakashi for this. Shunsui was a difficult one to find an opponent for, because with other ones like Tozen, I should put him up against another blind fictional character with abilities. Toshiro, put him against maybe another ice user or something like that. That's easy to do. Or Yamamoto, put him up against another old badass, hence Whitebeard. But with Shunsui, he doesn't have much defining traits apart from being a very laid-back and kind of lazy character. But a serious fighter when it turns out to be. He's very friendly, jovial, but he's actually extremely, experienced and, a good person all around. So it's hard to picture that, his abilities on Parto, which we'll get to. Hey, puppy. Domino wants me to say, no, you pay attention to me. You pay attention to me. And now we have Domino's butt on today. Just don't go on the computer because I won't be happy if you do that. But yeah, his ability to make children's games real and basically a dangerous attack. That's a unique ability that's kind of difficult to find something that correlates that from a different character. But then I'm thinking, Kakashi's kind of got a very similar attitude to Shunsui, so let's go that route. So starting with Shunsui, he's very laid back. He stands at 6'3", 6'3.5", so he's one of the taller Bleach characters, 991 pounds. He's gonna try to talk his way out of a fight before he's gets involved, but he very much respects his opponent. He has years of combat experience, being easily I think over 1,000 years old. He's very flamboyant, but he's also a very, very good tactician, master strategist, tactician, master swordsman, using I think it's a katana. I think his long sword's a katana, but it might be a kodachi as well. I'm gonna go with just a katana for time being, and a wakizashi in conjunction before he even releases them. He can interweave combos and stuff. And he's ambidextrous. He can switch his hands up. He's got hand strength and durability. He's taken immense amounts of damage. He's taken holes through the body, kept going. He's what else did he? He's been stabbed. He's been stabbed multiple times. Been affected by his own techniques. He's extremely durable. And he can use Shimpo, very skilled with his flash step, basically super speed. Now that being said, he's also a skilled Keto user, using Ketos such as low level. I believe the one he used against Chad was in fact like the Hato number 1 Soi, just a little energy blast that just threw Chad around like a ragdoll. And then he used I think a level 70 something energy blade against Lily, but Lily was like, no, I'm a Quincy. But anyway, his Shikai is Katen Kyotsu. Makes children's games real. They basically turn into scimitars. And makes children's games real. Now, as far as all the games, if I remember correctly, there is Bushogama, which the wind blades join to create a tornado. The effects, counter high power Seru. Basically, it's like it's not a spinning top game. The spinning top game was named something else. I'm not going to use that attack in this fight because we never found out what it did. But Mushogama can basically counteract a Zero. It can be used to just blow opponent's back. Kageone, which he can hide in shadows. Basically, whoever steps on the opponent's shadow, a Shadow Blade comes out and stabs them. He can hide in shadows and therefore give himself an edge in that category. Irony, which is probably my favorite of his child games, where basically it's a color game. You name a color, you attack that part of the color. Only that color can be part of them can be damaged, and the amount of damage corresponds to the amount of color on you. So if you hit a white part that has white on there, and if say it's a large amount of white, but you have a little amount of white on, it's not going to do a lot of damage. But if you say got a white armband and you're wearing like Shunsui would be wearing his captain's cloak, you hit that, and just graze it, you'd probably take the hand off. So and it works both ways. It's a very interesting technique, which I like. I just dug that when it came up. There was also give me what's it, Daru. It's basically like red light, green light. Basically, you can't see your opponent moving. Domino, downstairs. Stay downstairs. You can't go upstairs. She and the cat don't get along, so yeah. And the cat, well, basically, the cat's domain is upstairs, really. Domino, come on down, baby. Come on. That's a good girl. Come on. Yeah, that's a good girl. Just stay downstairs, baby. Anyway. There we go. And then there's Domino again. Hi, baby. Hi. Oh, she's a grumbler. She's a grumbler. And then there's Kage, and I can't remember this. Basically, it's an after image game. Boy, he can pretty much make shadow clones. It's an interesting kind of technique. Then, of course, there's Bankai. Oh, God. I'm going to try to get this right. Kara Natsu Shingu. Katen Kyotsu Karanatsu Shingu. I believe I got that name right. If not, I apologize. But anyway, it basically separates his Bankai into acts like a play, or dons. Don 1, basically all Act 1, basically all wounds will be shared, basically. More or less, if you injure Shunsui, that injury will show up on you. Act 2, Zanka Shiton. Basically, bleeding spots appear profusely, basically to enact a soldier coming home from war, but getting a deadly disease. Act 3, you get engulfed in a massive amount of water, basically get flooded, an ocean, basically, and you will drown or your Ryatsu will disappear. Whichever happens first. Shunsui, however, can apparently breathe in this state because it is his Bankai. And then the final act, I'm not going to even bother trying to pronounce that. It's the Thread of Fate. Basically, he sheathes his sword, winds a white thread multiple times around his finger and then around his opponent's neck, which cuts his opponent's neck open and blows their head up. So, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. But a cool attack nonetheless. Now, his sword's its weakness is basically that it's a moody sword, because all Zanpakuto are separate beings. If he doesn't want to immediately play, it's not going to immediately play. Which might work against him, but I think he'd be okay. Next we have Kakashi. Now, I'm not going to go over every freaking jutsu he knows, because even taking out the supposed 1,000 jutsu he knows, not including the original stuff he actually ended up creating, he still knows well over in terms of the show and anime, or in terms of the anime and the manga, 20 different jutsus at least. But that being said, he knows earth, water, fire, and a lightning. Lightning is his primary. Earth, fire, water. He uses fire and water a lot. He uses earth and water a lot, along with the lightning. He does use some fire now and then, like he does know fireball jutsu, but he kind of sticks to, like, he does the whole mud wall, he does the lightning jutsu, including lightning blade, the lightning hound he did, double lightning blade. I don't think we ever actually see him using another lightning jutsu, but of course water style, water vortex, water clone, lightning clone. Or I think he probably did earth clone at one point. If not, he probably knows the technique. Of course, he knows fire style, fireball jutsu. He's a brilliant technician, great at hand-to-hand combat. Wields kunai, shuriken, capable of doing the Shunsui. Basically like their kind of version of Flash Step, but not exactly. It's basically kind of like a brief teleportation attack. Substitution jutsu, obviously. He can channel chakra to go faster in his feet, or, not like, say, like Tsunade can, like, break a freaking mountain in half with her finger, but he can still charge up a punch, basically. Then, of course, he has dog summoning. His Sharingan, and of course we're using Kakashi when he still had the Sharingan, and the Mangekyo. Because, if he's like, why did you give him the Mangekyo? I'm giving him the Mangekyo, just get off my back. So, one second, I lost my place, but there it is. So let's in the copy jutsu, which aren't going to be a factor in this, but can allow him to follow his opponent's movement. If he's fast enough to keep up with them, that's great. If not, he can follow them but not keep up with them. Allow him to copy movements. So if, let's say, just an example, let's say Shunsui does a particular sword style or sword move. Kakashi's able to memorize that movement and use it again against Shunsui. But regardless, it does have a genjutsu effect, but anyone who's skilled enough to avoid it could avoid it. So I don't believe I played that to factor here, but who knows. And of course the Mangekyo, which allows him to use the Kamui, which is one half of Obito's eye. I'm wondering. You see, I wonder about the Kamui in that regard. That yes, Kakashi was able to utilize going to the dimension after a while, but after a certain amount of time. But was it possible that that was like the main thing of one eye and the other one kind of just transported stuff? The point being is that unlike, though he can't turn intangible, like basically putting his body into the alternate dimension of Kamui, he can transport things. He took Dodara's arm off of that. In fact, he also stopped an explosion, sent that into the Kamui dimension. He can it's implied that he could actually stop the tail beast bombs if he really tried, but it probably would have killed him, or damn near killed him. And you know, he can take limbs off, and there's nothing you can do about that, and all that great stuff. He can actually transport himself to the Kamui dimension because he's got basically perfect chakra control. He had a below average chakra, but he made up for it with above average, like almost perfect chakra control. But anyway, yes, but then again, he said both these guys could still actually be killed. So yeah. That being said, let's break this fight down. How does this fight take place? Well, let's say that, for sake of sakes, there are hollows in the shinobi world. And, Shunsui happens to be there. And, runs into Kakashi. Kakashi maybe thinks he's an enemy. It's like, so, I would imagine it starts out with Shunsui and Kakashi just having a calming interaction. Shunsui asks if, you know what? I remember how I set this up. Happening during the Fourth Shinobi War. It was the Fourth Shinobi World War. Basically, what the final arc was. And Kakashi runs into Shunsui, who's, maybe there to maybe try to help take care of Madara or Kage or something like that. And Kakashi's like, they have Kakashi. No, look, now look, I'm trying to do a good Shunsui. I can't do a good Shunsui without doing Lord Okage, and I can't really do a good Lord Okage. So basically, they're having a calm interaction, and Kakashi's like, I can't. It's like, peaceful or not, I can't let you go. Now, see, that's going to be a problem because I really have to go. Are you sure we can't maybe settle this peacefully? It's like I think you already know the answer to that. Well. I was hoping we could avoid this, but here we are. Again, it's guy's hat there. Says Kakashi basically says, yeah, sorry, throws a kunai with an explosive up, goes boom, just explodes. Shunsui flash steps away, slightly scorched, but otherwise fine. Swords are drawn, and Kakashi appears with a fireball. Shunsui again releases his Shingai, using Bashogama to try to cancel out the flames, but as we all know with jutsus, that doesn't really work. They might cancel each other out, but it's fire and wind, so maybe it kind of just causes a big kind of flame tornado thing. So Kakashi then kind of channels chakra and goes into melee fighting, and basically they fight on par with each other. They're slightly. I'm trying to remember what did I. Man, it was a while when I wrote melee roughly. Basically, yeah, they would go into a melee. Kakashi has kunai in his hand, and Shunsui is blocking with his swords, maybe trying to get in. They're roughly on par, though. If you're going to actually ask me who's got the better hand-to-hand combat, I'm going to go with Kakashi on that, because we don't see enough of Shunsui to know just how good in hand-to-hand combat he really is. We can assume that he's very, very good, but being one of the strongest captains and the current head captain. But again, it's one of those things where Kakashi is a ninja. Hand-to-hand combat is like bread and butter for him. It's kind of like how I talked about Aizen and Madara, and I've got people commenting on that one. As I say, yeah, you didn't quite get this right or whatever. It's like, and I don't want to indulge because I know I didn't necessarily get some things right on that, but there's also a reason I didn't get some things right. So whatever. But it's kind of like with Madara, like, as skilled as Aizen is, and Aizen is a god, let's be clear. Basically, he's god tier. But as skilled as, like, even base Aizen is with, like, maybe his hand-to-hand combat, Madara, he's more of a schemer who's just got immense power. Whereas Madara has literally honed his combat skills on the battlefield for decades, like years. So it's really hard it's kind of hard to judge, but someone who's living day in, day out just trying to survive, whereas someone who's just really good. You see where I'm getting at. That's why I think Kakashi has the hand-to-hand edge. So basically, both are basically probably getting nicks on them, but otherwise they're fine. Then Takeyomi does Takeyomi was the Irony was the which one was it? Damn it! Which one was the color one? Which was it? Because again, it was a while since I wrote this down. I apologize for this. Where are you? There we go. It was Kageyone Irony. What did I write down? Was it Takeyomi? Oh, wait, no, that was it. Sorry. I apologize. Takeyomi was the freaking, top one, the tornado one. So basically, that's what I think. Now I remember. So he uses Takeyomi to try to avoid Kakashi. Kakashi does a fire dragon flame, and it's basically to incinerate. Basically, the fire starts to engulf Shunsui, and Shunsui realizes Kakashi senses something and barely avoids getting impaled with the shadow blade. Probably gets another nick on him with Kageyone. Kakashi creates a lightning blade, goes into. He's not go. What? What did I write here? Man, my handwriting can sometimes be crap. Goes right into something or other. Okay. All right, now I remember. Man, it's really hard until I start reading the remaining part of the sentence. And I wrote this a while ago. I need to really, I really need to make sure to make these legible. Anyway, so he goes into a lightning blade to try to finish off. Basically, goes in for basically a killing blow as Shunsui is there, but realizes he's not cutting. He doesn't pierce Shunsui, and Shunsui then explains the game to Kakashi again, and saying that we've now changed the game. The game is now Irony. Both managed to make some serious wounds on each other. I'm certain because they would both Shunsui knows the game. Kakashi would figure the game out. Probably would hit him in the arm or in the arm or scrape his back with a kunai. In fact, the kunai would be even better because he can just go because he has the accuracy of a shinobi, just and then maybe he just nicks the color, just ching, and he just gets a giant gash. However, turnabout's fair play. And Shunsui probably uses Kageyone again, distracts him, and then gets a cut, and maybe he's got a giant gash around on his chest. So now they're both huffing and puffing a little bit, but otherwise they're still good. Kakashi, uses a smoke bomb. Shunsui uses Boshogamon to basically get rid of the smoke bomb and turns it into the red light, green light game. Tries to take Kakashi's head off. Kakashi, it turns out to be a shadow clone. And then where did I write here? Oh, Ninja Wire surrounds, Shunsui with explosive notes. And at that point, it's like, Shunsui just like, well, shit. Bankai. And then the explosion goes. Shunsui's Bankai activates. Kakashi gets burns all over his body. Now it's just like, It's like, then it goes to the first time. It's like, what are you thinking about? Quite depressing or mellow. And I was like, It's like, it is. What is this? It's like, the first dawn. Whatever it is. The injury should be felt in that. And then he goes into the second dawn. Kakashi starts to bleed with sores, being a non-divine entity like Lily supposedly was. He's in a bad way now. Now he's just coughing up blood. Saying, what is this? Then Act 3, they are both now underwater. Kakashi manages a water dragon, basically using the water against Shunsui. Shunsui does manage to avoid this and goes into his final act. Rise is about to cut Kakashi's throat with his blade of fate. Kakashi kind of blinks out of existence. And then the Bankai phases out. And Shunsui's honestly confused. It's like, what was this? And then all of a sudden, the lightning blade goes right through his chest, basically. It's like, and Kakashi appears with a lightning blade through his chest. both are exhausted because for Kakashi, that is a lot of chakra to be using. Unfortunately, Shunsui has survived several forms of impalement. So Shunsui would use a Hado or a Bakudo to either kill him, either use the Hado to kill him, a Bakudo to basically freeze him in place, and then kill him. More or less, I think Shunsui survives this. Shunsui is the winner for this about 60% of the time. Now, there's a very likely scenario where he ends up killing Shunsui if he manages to get him straight through the heart, or manages to even hit him in the head. But anyway, that's my thoughts. I think Shunsui wins this about 60% of the time, with Kakashi winning about 40% of the time. But let me know if you think differently. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hey, yo, puppy. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. If you have an idea for who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, anything I do on the channel, please put it in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to it at some point. Again, more magic tomorrow because, the more cards get released. And Smurfs is tomorrow, so la 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 la. Later.